Hello everyone, welcome back to EQ Markets Global YouTube channel. This is 𝗟𝗏𝗘, Head Market Analyst and Educationist for EQ Markets Global. I'm super delighted. This week promises a whole lot for the financial market, and we're going to look at in the weekly market outlook what we should be expecting in the most favorite currency pairs, commodities, indices, and what have you in the market. Now let's jump right straight into it. For this week, we'll be expecting some high impact expected news. Of course, Monday, it's clear of all high impact expected news. On Monday, there's pretty nothing we're actually looking at. On Tuesday, of course, we'll be expecting a flash PMI for the Great Britain pound and also, of course, CPI for the Canadian dollar by 2:30 p.m. and also the flash services PMI for the USD. That will be happening 3:45 p.m. Nigerian time. But most especially, most of the attention will be on 3:45 p.m. on Tuesday and of course on Wednesday as well. All right. So on Wednesday, while most of the attention will be on Wednesdays, because of course we're having the monetary policy statement for the New Zealand dollar. And of course, we know the Reserve Bank of New Zealand last year tampered interest rate about 7 times, bringing it from 0.5% by the opening of the year to about 4.25% by the close of the year in 2022. And of course, that's really something we should worry about because, of course, that's we already know that that simply means that there's going to be some sort of high cost of living and a whole lot that will be happening in the New Zealand area. So it's something we should really be concerned with. Of course, 2023 just begun, and in this second month, which is in February, of course, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand is still looking at tampering interest rate and bringing it from 4.25% to about 4.75%. That's a 50 basis point interest rate hike. Of course, if we see that happen, we already know that it's a measure, it's a means to fight inflation, it's a means to fight and bring the New Zealand economy to stability. I mean, but let's also look at what is going to happen in the market. It's going to drive a whole lot of volatility in the market. Not to also forget, we'll be having some FOMC meeting minutes coming up by 8 p.m. the same Wednesday, right? So we should also put that into consideration. And more so on Thursday, of course, we're going to be having the prelim GDP quarter on quarter for the USD. Still on Friday, then on Friday, 2:30 p.m. we'll be having the core PCE. All right, so these are the high impact expected news we will be expecting for this week. All right, then let's quickly look at the United States dollar. Of course, many of the times, it's not like the dollar is the only currency that has its index, no. But many of the times we look at the dollar because many of the things we trade with gets to be affected by the rise and fall of the dollar. Okay, so of course these are key zones that I've been able to map out on the United States dollar index. All right, so after breaking the structure here, we saw the dollar index move all the way down to retest this particular zone, which acted as the support zone. All right, it rebounded here and we see it come back into this zone. This zone is also another significant zone, which is somewhat around 106 to 105 or thereabout. So this zone is actually a very significant area. And of course, we see our prices have been able to rally back into this zone. And of course, at the moment, temporarily obeying this trend line, of course, we have here and we have this touch, we have the break here, okay? And then, of course, this is more like the top touch. So for the time being, we also see prices respecting the trend line, which also had been drawn out. It simply means that in the coming days, we will probably see the devaluation of the United States dollar, rather, sorry. We'll be seeing the devaluation of the United States dollar, all right? But also let us still have a second alternative whereby the dollar can be strengthened and move properly back into the zone before it gets devalued, all right? But in either cases, let's also watch what happens and see how we can use that to trade what we see in the market. All right, so lastly, we'll be looking at is the currency strength meter. All right, so for today, as at the time of making this video, the Australian dollar seems to be one of the most strongest currencies that we have. All right, and so of course, if you want to trade today, you might be looking at pairing up the strongest currencies against the weakest currencies to find proper trend in the market. And so we'll be looking at perhaps AUD and ZD. Okay, so we will probably be looking at the AUD and ZD, right? Because AUD is strong and NZD, of course, is pretty weak. All right. We might also look at GBPAUD. All right. We might also look at GBPAUD. And of course, if we want to look at AUD USD as well, there might be some form of opportunities in these assets. Okay. So before we go into full analysis of the different assets, currency pairs, commodities, and what have you, all right? I simply want to thank you for staying up until this time. But just before we continue, I'll just beg you for a minute of your time to do something real quick. I need you to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't, and then of course turn on the notification bell, put it at all so you get notified every single time we put up valuable contents just like this one. All right, and not to forget also, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and also on TikTok. All right, everywhere we are simply known as EQ Markets Global. All three words are spaced: EQ space markets space global. All right, just type it in any of the social media platforms and you'll be able to see us. All right, so just before then, I hope you have been able to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I also will crave your indulgence to leave me a comment in the comment section below, and perhaps I'll follow up from there. If you've got any questions as well, please drop that for me in the comment section below. If you think this video was also helpful and valuable at the end, please drop that in the comment section. Now let's quickly run into what we want to be trading for this week, right? So I made a few analyses on some of the pairs, and let's see how it then plays out. All right, so this is Euro USD on the daily time frame. After the massive bearish movement, all right, we see prices add a break of structure, retest and rebound. All right, then finally, after testing this particular zone twice, 1 and 2, and then we had, okay, this is what I mean, this is 1 and this is 2, and then we had the break of structure. This could just be the perfect retest that we need for prices to rebound on this level. All right, with that being said, all right, this zone is a significant zone that we need to look out for. So we're expecting perhaps a bullish movement on Euro USD rebounding from this zone, okay? Rebounding from this zone. And then this zone marked red is also another significant zone. If you look at it on the weekly time frame, you get to notice that this zone as well was where we had support, and then break of structure with retest. So most likely prices would buy and come back to retest this zone that was formerly broken and retested. Prices is most likely coming back to retest that zone. But for now, that's on a weekly time frame. For now that we want to be dealing on the daily time frame, we're expecting a bullish run on Euro USD this week. For me, we're expecting a bullish run on Euro USD this week. Now, a whole lot of other things to perhaps you may most likely want to get as confluence or as confirmations is that, all right, if you look at it, the Friday candlestick on Euro USD was a rejection candle. Perhaps prices is trying to reject from this zone. All right, if you watch it carefully, you perhaps see that prices is trying to reject from this zone. All right, so let me zoom out so you get to see that prices is rejecting from this zone. So if this rejection candles obeys and on this significant level, then we would see prices continue to move bullish. And then, of course, another confluence you might most likely want to get is the fact that the CCI is, of course, trading. CCI is, of course, trading above the negative 100 level, telling you that there's pretty bullish momentum, or rather the bearish momentum has come to exhaustion and the bulls are gradually taking over the market. I mean, so if you are a short-term trader, you may want to scale down to a lower time frame to find good entries for a buy on Euro USD. And of course, if you're a long-term trader, you might want to take this trade and also look at getting out of the market somewhere around this point, 1.08424. All right, you can have a pretty tight stop at 1.05718. All right, that is if the market should go against you. I hope that makes sense. Let's quickly look at GBPUSD. So GBPUSD is currently on GBPUSD is currently on a very significant weekly support. All right, so this is it on a weekly time frame. We had this zone as a support, tested twice, and then the third time, and then the fourth time, although it was broken, but it came back because of news, and then tested a fifth time, and then of course tested again. And so this zone mapped out is a very significant level. So we had GBP USD on the weekly time frame had this massive bullish run, breaking this zone, but coming back to retest this zone. Of course, we saw on the weekly time frame a rejection candle as well. We saw a rejection candle as well, and it's coming back to retest the same zone. All right, so in my own bias, I'm still buy bias on GBP USD. So let's scale down back to the daily time frame and let's see what happens on the daily time frame. So for the GBP USD on the daily time frame, of course, we are going to be expecting a bullish movement. Sorry, let me see if I can also find some confluences using some parameters. Of course, yes, our CCI as well shows us some form of bullish momentum or bullish movement on the GBP USD. So let's be expecting prices in the coming days to push up to 1.24443. All right, 1.24443. And of course, if you want to know how many pips that will be, of course, that's going to be over 400 pip movement. I mean, guys, you don't want to miss this. All right. So if you are taking a long-term trade, of course, you might want to risk, say, around 140 pip movement to catch about over 420 pip movements. All right. That makes sense. Then let's go over back to gold. Gold as well is seen trading on a weak support, so to say. All right, it's a support, but not so strong, I would say. But of course, if this support zone holds, of course, last Friday's candle as well was a rejection candle. So we see prices rejecting on this particular zone here. Of course, if this rejection holds and the bullish movement holds, then let's expect gold coming to 1892.72. All right, 1892.72. Otherwise, we probably might see gold beyond that level coming to 1961.30. Okay. Of course, if this zone is broken, then there might be a retest and then prices coming into 1776.65. But for me, I'm more of bullish sentiment. I buy more of the bullish sentiment rather on gold than the sell sentiment. But the overall movement where gold will be going in the coming weeks, in the coming months, trust me, it's probably going to be bearish. But for now, we're buy bias because that's where gold is going. Also, let us look at GJ, which is the Great Britain pound against the Japanese yen. It's currently trading at a very significant resistant level, okay? If you watch that level very well, it's a very significant level. And of course, trading on a very significant resistant level, this week we are going to probably expect more bearish movements for the Great Britain pound. But then, of course, this level is also very key. We've seen prices test this level a couple of times, okay? Same prices test this level a couple of times, even from December last year up until now. All right, so let's still expect that, okay, this level is going to hold as a resistant level and then prices is going to push downward, or rather we probably would see prices break this level and continue to go bullish. All right. So for USDJPY, I think this is a good sell. Of course, we've been shorting the USDJPY since on Friday last week, and of course, amazing profits that we've been making. So this particular level here is a very key supply level, all right, as we can find here. It's a very key supply level, and of course, prices have tested this same zone in the just shortly about 3 times. Okay, so we will be expecting a push to the downside, perhaps back to retest the support level at 127.536. Okay, 127.536. All right, so if we look at it on the daily time frame, if we look at it on the daily time frame, we also see a bearish momentum in the market, and of course, prices coming away from the supply level. So price levels to watch out for could be 132.697. That's the first level we probably want to be watching out for, and of course, 131.481. And of course, beyond that level, we'll be looking at the environments of 129.779 or somewhat around 127.696. So for USDJPY, I'm more of a bearish, I buy more of the bearish sentiment than a bullish movement on USDJPY. All right, just quickly, let's quickly look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones also had been enjoying some bearish control or some bearish dominance for some time now. All right. So until this level is broken, then we expect a bullish movement on the Dow Jones. But for now, we still go with the sell bias. Okay. We still go with the sell bias. All right. So for the Nasdaq, we experience a break of structure here. All right, so most likely we will be looking out for a supply or a resistance zone as well to take out for prices to rebound. Okay, and that level could just be this level here. All right, this level here, which is somewhat around just a second. So probably prices coming into 11887. All right, and from that level, prices will continue to go bullish. All right, so these are all what we'll be looking out for this week. We've talked about Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, GBP JPY, USD JPY. We've also talked about the Dow Jones and also the Nasdaq 100. Should you have any question, please drop that for me in the comment section. And of course, if this video was really helpful, please let me know as well in the comment section. Until next week, Monday, we will see again. And I hope this makes valuable insights for you in the market. Thank you so much.